What up, Bailey? What up, lurkers? How we doing? How we doing? We just doing our short little sports stream tonight. Shouldn't go too long. I'm gonna actually do football and basketball, but mostly football. It's the final week of football picks of the regular season, so final week of football before playoffs and bowl games and stuff. So yeah. First things first, let's get into it. We didn't do a week 13 show, but I did do some plays in the Discord. But let's go over how we did in week 12 since we didn't get a recap. We lost the UTSA North Texas under. We lost that literally in the last minute, so that was fun. We lost UCLA. We got Arkansas. We got Colorado. We missed Western Kentucky. We missed UL Monroe. We got Marshall. We got Bama. We lost Michigan State. We got Cuse as one of our lock picks. That was versus Cal. We got Penn State. We got the LSU Florida under. We got the Florida moneyline sprinkle. They went outright. That was nice. We pushed with Notre Dame over Virginia. We lost a lock pick of Louisville. That was probably the worst bet of the year. I'm not sure what happened to Louisville. They were playing Stanford. It wasn't very good. And they lost as a big favorite. Tennessee, we lost. Georgia Southern, lock pick, lost outright. Not sure what happened there either. Troy's not very good. James Madison covered by half a point. Lost South Carolina, but we hedged it with Mizzou using a different number. I mentioned that on stream that I thought it would be exactly 14, so not a bad hedge there because two different books had vastly different numbers. We got Arizona State. We got Texas State. We missed Oregon. We got Memphis. We missed the Washington State, New Mexico under by half a point. So that was once again the last 20 seconds. And then we lost BYU as a lock pick. Lost to Kansas outright, which was odd. So on the week, 13-11 with one push. My wallet was a little worse than that. Mostly because of my 2-unit plays didn't do as well. So on the year, we're 193 wins. 161 losses, 3 pushes, 24-14 on locks. All right. So that brings us to week 14, sorry. Because we didn't do a show last week. But if you want to know how I did in 13, I did pretty well. On basketball, I went 5-2. Actually, I guess I don't know how I did. Did Maryland cover? I didn't look. But yeah, we went 5-2 on games I know about. I guess I should check on the Maryland game. In football, we went, what did we go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins. So 7-6 in football, 5-2 in basketball. And then we got a 4-pick parlay. So we did really well in week 13, plus $37.25. Not bad. All right. Let's get into this week, shall we? Anybody got a lock out there? I've got a few. First things first, Tulane has been blasting everybody. Memphis is really good. This is a huge number, though. It's kind of a stinky line. Like, why is it so big? Does somebody know something? I mean, Tulane's been blasting everybody, right? So I feel like this is Tulane or no play, just because the line is so big. It's kind of strange why it's so big. Somebody knows something. Minnesota's playing well. Wisconsin's playing better as of late, but they did lose to Nebraska last week. They need this game to become bowl eligible, and they're at home. For those two reasons, I believe Wisconsin will win this game. It will be a tight one, so I would pick the money line on Wisconsin. The 1.5 could kill you if it's a 6-7 ball game. You know what I'm saying? Or a 14-13. Take the money line. A lot of points to lay with Colorado, who had a disappointing week last week. Oklahoma State's not very good. They had a very down year. But that's just too many points for me, so I'm going to pass on that game. I would have liked Colorado at like -10. But I don't feel confident enough to pick Oklahoma State either. So now, Oregon State is really down right now. They've had some injuries. Boise State has escaped by the skin of their teeth recently. narrow wins against not so great teams. And Boise State gets everybody's best shot because they're 11th in the nation. They'll probably move up to 10 tomorrow. So, but Oregon State needs this game to become bowl eligible. So for that reason, I feel like this game is tighter than the number. If you see this get to 21.5, I think you have to take the Beavs. But I even think you get a little bit of value at 20.5 here. The line's pretty sharp. This is about where I would have it at about 19. So you get a little bit of value with Oregon State. I lean with them, even though they're on the road, just because they're trying to get it bowl eligible. And I think Boise State's playing a little tight recently. They've been in some close games. So I think that's why I think this trend continues. I think Oregon State maybe just hangs around a little bit. Maybe loses by 17 or 18. So I would lean with the Beavs there. And plus, they're confident. They just beat Washington State for the Pac-2 championship. I call it the Pac-2. Or the 2-Pac. So they're playing with a little bit of confidence. Bowling Green is better than Miami of Ohio, so I think you got to take them. I would take them on the money line there, though. Ball State is a... what are they? I think the trend is they are always overs or unders. It's one or the other. I want to say they're always unders, but I could be wrong on that. It could be overs. Because I can't remember, I'm just not going to pick that game. But go do some research. I'm pretty sure they've only hit 2 of the other side, and then they're like 2-9 on one of those, overs or unders. So go check that out. Navy's better than East Carolina, but East Carolina's playing better ever since their interim coach took over, so I'm staying away from that game. Texas State's better than South Alabama. I don't know why the line's so short. I guess it's a road game. I don't know. I'm staying away from the Sun Belt this week. Unless I see something good. Colorado State needs this game to go to their championship game in their conference. So I would lean with Colorado State here because it's under a touchdown. Ole Miss, you got to wonder where their heads are at. It's the Egg Bowl. It's a rivalry. It's a lot of points delay in a rivalry. Ole Miss, a little disappointed. Maybe their playoff hopes are gone. Are they even going to be excited for that game? I don't know. It is a rivalry. Man, it's a lot of points delay in a rivalry, though, chat. I almost feel like you take Mississippi State here, even though they are easily the worst team in the SEC. They can score a little bit. One thing I think is better at play is the under. Ole Miss's defense is really good, and they're actually one of the best under teams in the nation this year. I'm pretty sure they're 2-9 to the over, so they've only hit the over twice out of 11 games. So I think the under's a great pick here. Thank you, Bailey. Just chatting was fine, though. So I would be Mississippi State and under on this one, personally. All right. I don't know why that game vaulted ahead of a few games here, but whatever. Georgia Tech, rivalry game. Georgia Tech would love to spoil Georgia's dreams. They could knock them out of the playoff potentially. Georgia's got to obviously play in the SEC title game. But if Georgia weren't to win that one, Mr. Hemorrhoids, appreciate the 145 biddies.
69 squirrel drip. Wow,
appreciate that. How you doing?
Wow. Penis tits.
Gotta love it. So I think rivalries, I tend to go with the underdog typically. Line for Oregon versus Washington is Oregon minus 19.5. I don't think they're going to cover that. We'll get to that, Bailey. I don't think so either. I think that's a stay away because Oregon either kills them or it's a tight one. It's not going to be near that number, I don't think. Georgia, I mean, they still need a little bit of style points here, but Georgia Tech's not that bad. I think we're going to find out just how good the SEC is this week, or how good the ACC is. Maybe they're an underrated conference. There's always at least one or two ACC teams that upset SEC teams this week. It happens every year. There was a year where like Kentucky was 10-2 and Louisville was bad, and Louisville beat them. You know, there's been years where Auburn sucked and then they beat Alabama that was cruising. It always happens. Doing good. Glad to hear that, Mr. Hemorrhoids. I was blasting your stream last night. Glad to see you on the races. The man, the myth, the Brett. Welcome in, Gina. How we doing? I could see Bama actually losing Auburn this year. We'll get to that, Bailey, in a little bit later here. I do have a play on that game. So I lean Georgia Tech just to keep it tight here. Maybe they run the rock quite a bit. 19.5's a lot, Chad. And if you see this get to 21.5, you have to take Georgia Tech. Trust me. Iowa-Nebraska rivalry game. A lot of rivalries this week. Lots of rivalries. Nebraska got the monkey off their backs. They're bowl eligible for the first time in a long time. But Iowa's just better. Now, I don't know if they can cover this number, so I probably would just go money line, and I'd go the over. It's not very many points here. Iowa is 9-2 to the over this year. So see if they can get to 10-2. 39.5 is not very many points. Give me Iowa on the over. That's fishy. Yeah, this game's always wild. North Carolina's better, but I'm gonna pass on that game. A lot of points for Tennessee to lay at Vanderbilt. I know it's not a great home atmosphere for Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt's been pretty good this year. They usually cover. Just got home from cheer practice. Oh, one of your kids cheerleader, Gina? Tennessee's obviously better. They need style points. I just don't know if they can get them against Vanderbilt. I would have liked to seen this at 14.5 and then taking Vanderbilt here. But I think if it's at like 7 or 8, you got to go Tennessee. So really tough game to pick here. I lean with Vanderbilt, though. Very small lean. I mean, UMass, yeah, they're bad, but I don't like that game. I think I like Duke here. I don't know if about 4.5, though. I feel like field goal would be better. It's not really a rivalry game. Duke is definitely better than Wake Forest, though, so I would lean with Duke. So cute. Does she love cheerleading? Oh, Lime. Lily is. She's 11. I call it a Lime. Gotcha. I bet you it's cold out there. It's 47. South Carolina, Clemson. I kind of like this game. This is going to be exciting this year because this game has playoff implications. South Carolina, looking at now all of a sudden they're in the picture with 3 losses because if there's more chaos, they might slide up the rankings and maybe have a very low chance of making the playoffs, but still got a chance. Clemson, they have to win to get in, so this is this is basically a play-in game, or a play-out game, I guess is a better way to put it. It's an elimination game for sure. It's at Clemson, tough place to play. Give me the Gamecocks on the road. Give me the Cocks to go in to Clemson and pull off the upset. Maybe a little money line sprinkle. Gamecocks have been playing well, chat. Give me the Cocks. Temple's terrible. I don't know. That's a big number, though, on Thanksgiving week to lay. I'm staying away from it. I'm not doing anything from those leagues this week. She's killing it. I call Ozzy Odie. He loves it when I say go Odie real fast. Starts flapping his arms. Yeah, he's funny. Noise. He's huge. He's 30 inches. Now we go to the game, Ohio State, Michigan. A lot of points. Ohio State's looked really good the past few weeks. Michigan, though, would love nothing more than to spoil Ohio State's chances. I don't think a loss here would knock Ohio State out, though. But it could. It could take them out of the Big Ten championship. And any time a rival gets an opportunity to take something away from their rival, you know they're going to get fired up for that. So, about as long as you... No, what? I'm average size, Gino. What are you talking about? I'm average. What are you talking about? I'm average height. Ozzy's just gonna. He's got all the height genes. But yeah, I think this is a lot of points, y'all, for a rivalry. I just do. I mean, Ohio State, they beat Indiana by less than this number, and Indiana is not too much better than Michigan. I mean, they only beat Michigan by a few points. But you know what? I can't pick Ohio State games. I never get them correct. They are my worst cover team of the entire year. The only time I've covered successfully with them is when they played Oregon, and I faded them. I picked Oregon, and it worked. That's the only time it's worked. So on the channel, I cannot pick Ohio State. But I'm going to tell you what. If I were to pick it, I probably would take Michigan in the points. I feel like it's not going to be as easy as people think. I think Army has to win here. So give me Army to cover. They're at home. They got blasted last week by Notre Dame, but this is a much different opponent you got going. You got San Antonio coming up there. It's going to be cold for San Antonio kids. So, yeah, I think you got to go with Army here. Did y'all get packed? Yeah, Bailey's packed. I'll do mine tomorrow. Navy. Yeah, I like Navy and Army and Air Force, really. I root for all of them when they're playing. Illinois is a lot better than Northwestern, but I don't know if you can take that big of a number to lay on the road. Florida State is so bad, and Florida's playing a lot better recently. You know, they beat LSU outright as a dog. Last week they beat Ole Miss, but 14 and a hook. You know, if this gets to 14, you gotta slam Florida. You got to. It's a rivalry, but I don't care. Florida State has checked out. So give me Florida on that one. Small lean. All right, here's one of the best bets of the weekend. I know it's a rivalry. I know Notre Dame's going all the way to USC, and I know this is only their third road game of the year. True road game. But Notre Dame, have y'all seen what they've been doing the last few weeks? They've been killing teams. And USC kind of going through the motions. Give me Notre Dame on the road to win by 10. So I think that's one of the best bets of the weekend. Yes. The Cascade Clash between Oregon and Washington. A very heated rivalry. Oregon has lost 3 in a row. So they are foaming at the mouth for the revenge. Both teams had a bye last week. I think Oregon is going to win this game, but I don't know if they can cover 19.5. I feel like they win by 14. But I'm not going to pick this game. I'm not. I actually think the over would be a better play, even though Washington's a very slow team. I think the over might be a better play here, because all you need from Washington is them to score 14 points. And I think it, maybe 17. If Washington gets 17, I mean, this is going over. Go Sports. I'm in bed, but I can send you a link. Yeah, she's passed out almost. But yeah. Oh, you hate packing. Just got this little jewelry thing. Oh yeah, I'm talking about the jewelry thing. But yeah, so I'm gonna pass on the spread. I do think Oregon wins though, without a doubt. But this game's always tighter than people think. There's been a couple blowouts over the years, and the talent difference this year is pretty significant. But rivalries are rivalries, y'all. So I think the over is a little bit better side there. I don't know what to think about Kansas State or Iowa State. Kansas State's a weird team this year. I think I would lean Iowa State here, but this conference is a mess. And this same conference, Texas Tech, and then West Virginia. I lean with Texas Tech. I think moneyline Texas Tech's a great play. If this gets a 3, I think you go Texas Tech. They're at home, flopping the tortillas on the field. You got to go with it. BYU is probably angry. Houston, is one of the best under teams in the nation. I think they've only hit the over once all year. So I think you got to go under here just to keep that train going. You know, maybe BYU wins like 21-7, maybe 28-10. I think the under is going to hit here, y'all. I do, because BYU's offenses look stagnant the last few weeks, and Houston doesn't have an offense, so there you go. They also have played a very slow pace. I don't have a feel for that game. One of the best bets of the week, chat. Kansas. You just got to keep going with them. They just continue to pull off upsets every single week. And Baylor is probably their easiest opponent of the last 4 weeks. So why would it stop now? Just pick Kansas and just do it. All right. I'm not going to pick any of these. I have fade Southern Miss every week. They are one of the worst teams there is. So this would be Troy or pass, especially at 17. The hook scares me a little bit. I think it's Troy or pass. Yeah, I mean, I don't got a feel for this game. I feel like Boston College because they're at home, but be careful with that one. Another rivalry here, Louisville, Kentucky, in-state rivalry. I don't really know what they call this rivalry, but I don't know. I think you go with the small home dog here just to keep it within 4.5. If this was at 7, I would have absolutely done Kentucky. Historically, this game's really tight. So Louisville's better, but they're on the road. Rivalry. I would lean Kentucky, but not a great feel for that one. I do think Michigan State, though, they're 5-6. They got to get one more for bowl eligibility. Rutgers, long plane ride over there, sort of. Yeah, I think you go Michigan State here. Probably just money line it, though, just in case it's like a 24-23 game. In fact, that's what it looks like they're projecting. If you see the point total. It looks like they're looking at a 24 or 23 game, y'all. How much monies are you up to so far? I do need to count that out. I mean, all right, let's do that real quick. Let's do a little test here, y'all. So let's just say we put $10 on every single game on the stream so far. So 193 times 10 is 1,930. Okay? Now we've lost 161 times that by 10. That's 1,610. All right? And we've pushed 3 times, so you get your money back with that. So it's 320. If somebody following the stream had bet $10 on every single game, you roughly would have won. You roughly are up $320, basically. It's probably more like $300 because of the tax that comes with it and stuff. But yeah, that's without the tax. That's what you'd be right now. So not bad, not a bad year. I'm not trying to make too many picks this week, so we can ensure a winning year for football and move on to basketball. All right, so we got Michigan State. Yes, the good old Iron Bowl. I'm on Auburn, chat. Auburn, they just beat Texas A&M. They're in games. They're not good, but they're in games. Alabama, season's over. So, is it worth it, though? Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be. I mean, imagine if you put more than $10 on everything, right? It's just fun, you know. It's fun. But if you put $20 on everything, you just doubled all of what I just said. So you made an extra $620 in literally, 3-4 months? It's just, you know, it's better than buying a lottery ticket because lottery is complete luck. With this, you got a small edge because you watch the games, you know the teams, you can look up the stats. You can't do that with lottery tickets and stuff. All right, so Auburn. I'm on Auburn here just to keep it close. I know it's on the road. Alabama's going to be pissed off, but it's the Iron Bowl. Weird stuff happens all the time. It never disappoints. So give me Auburn. Too many points. I lean Syracuse here just because Mario Cristobal is down. He's due for another Cristobaling situation. And he's got to go all the way up to Syracuse. Is playing good ball. Give me a lot of points here, as you can tell, the 67.5. I would lean Syracuse here. Huge. Double-digit home dogs cover a lot. They do. So I am on Syracuse here. Double-digit home dogs. I mean, just look at how they did last week, y'all. 50-50 chance. Yeah, exactly. 50-50 shot in sports betting. Sometimes you get a 5 to 10% edge, too. Craven Sushi, dude, I could go for that right now. Cristobal can suck your wiener, Bailey. Okay. All right. Chat is lit right now. Gonna stay away from that. It's SMU or pass here. I think this is a pass, though. It's a weird number. Cal's not that bad, but SMU is really good. So I feel like this number's spot on. I had no edge there. Arizona State, Arizona. The battle for the Territorial Cup. Bet you some of y'all didn't know that one. I lean Arizona State because they are trying to get into the Big 12 championship, but Arizona would love to spoil that. I just don't think Arizona cares anymore, man. You know, going into the season, they had high hopes. They only got a couple wins this year. I just feel like, do they care? Maybe. Be careful with this game. This game usually is one of the most stunning results on rivalry weekend. But I think you got to go with the better team here, especially if this drops to 7. You got to slam Arizona State. Yeah, I mean, I think UCLA can win this. I don't know if it's by 9.5, but maybe 7 if you get a 7 out there. Maybe buy down. But I think UCLA is definitely better than Fresno State right now. Staying away from that. Too many points, though. I mean, I would almost take Maryland on that. No. Wouldn't be surprised if the over comes in on UAB Charlotte, though. All right, Texas A&M, an old rivalry renewed. 8-hour drive, you're worth it. Is that an invite? Oh, you're talking about the all-you-can-eat sushi place here? Yeah, it's fire. Right, Bailey? That's what I'm thinking. I think that's a lot. Like, Oregon can even beat Maryland by more than the spread. Why would Penn State do it? They're not as good. I think you're right. I think you're onto something. I think I will take Maryland there. Unless there's... Look, I'm going to have to check the injury report. Is there an injury we don't know about? We'll check the Discord this weekend. Texas A&M. Texas A&M clearly was looking ahead last week when they were playing Auburn. Texas, this is their first big opponent since Georgia, and they've heard nothing but, oh, you haven't played anybody the last few weeks. You haven't played anybody. But you're on the road, and that scares me a little bit. I think Texas knows they need to win this game. It's a really hard game to pick because there's a lot of variables here. Texas A&M, their season's basically over unless they win this game. It may even still be over. Texas, they can't afford to lose this either, or else they might get bounced from the SEC title game. And they don't really have a big signature win yet. This would be it. So there's a lot of angles to this. I think you go with a better team. Who's playing the best football right now? I think you got to go with Texas by a small margin. Maybe they win by 6. It's not a lot. Oh, Maryland's QB's questionable. Well, there it is. That's why the point spread's big. I think you go with Texas, but it's not a huge edge. Be careful. And I think we are just about done with football, y'all. I'm not seeing anything else that's good. Indiana's probably going to be really angry from last week. Signetti probably dropped the hammer on them after the game. But that hook scares me here. I feel like Indiana wins by 28, not 28.5. So I'm staying away from that unless the line drops in Indiana's favor. I don't know why Virginia's getting so many points at Virginia Tech. I know Virginia Tech's better. but it's a rivalry. So I'm staying away from that. Not doing it. Marshall's been covering every week. I think they're 9-2 against the spread, or 8-3. So I'm going to take them again here. Marshall's in West Virginia. James Madison's in Virginia, so they're pretty close quarters. I don't know why. I guess James Madison's only favored because they're at home. But give me Marshall. Give me Marshall here to cover. They've been covering for us a lot lately. Holy booty. What's going on over here? Give me Oklahoma, baby. Wait, you know Winnie? Oh, yeah. She must. And that's it, y'all. Although I do kind of like New Mexico to beat Hawaii. I do kind of like that. All right, let's look at basketball. I do got some basketball plays tonight. I don't know how they're doing. Liberty. I was on Liberty. I already missed one of the games. So I think I'm looking at 1-1 so far, if that one holds. I'm on Auburn, so that's not looking good. I'm going to need them to pick it up in the second half. I have the Dayton +9. Dayton was in the second round last year. They're undefeated this year. They got Posh Alexander from Butler. He's their point guard now, so pace is going to be heavy. So I actually like Dayton +9. You can get 9 at DraftKings. And I also took the over. It's now at 156.5 though, but I was at 154. So clearly a lot of people have jumped on with what I did. Oh gosh, we followed her for years. Yeah, we like Winnie. She's a good streamer. And another basketball play, if you want to get in on it tonight, that I did, if I can find it. Where are you? Oh, these are all Tuesday. I do like Oregon to cover against Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M's slightly overrated, and Oregon's undefeated. They've been looking really good. And this game's in Vegas, so it's a neutral site. I like the Ducks to cover that. I think Kentucky covers against West Kentucky. You know, Hilltoppers get up for this game, but Kentucky, you know, Pope always knows what the number is, and they've been blasting teams like this, so I like Kentucky to cover again. Like Kentucky, for example, they played the Mississippi State Delta Devils last week, and I was on them. The spread was -34.5. They won by like 50. So I have a profit boost on SGP. If I lose, I get... Oh, nice. I'll show you how to use that, Bailey. That one can be tricky. BRB, all right, gotcha. Stanford's pretty good, but Grand Canyon's probably my favorite mid-major this year. So I kind of would lean with Grand Canyon there. I wish the number was like +4 or something, though. They can really score. Samford's really good, another mid-major I like. I don't know if they can cover that number, but they can surely go over the total. Samford plays at a lightning pace. Really up and down team. Houston, Alabama, the big showmaker tomorrow. I think that number's spot on. Alabama can really shoot threes. I don't like picking them because they're Jekyll and Hyde. When their shots are going in, they beat you by 20. When they're not, they lose by 20. So, but more often than not, they're making their shots. So I'm staying away from that. But it is a great game. That's going to be exciting to watch. You always need to fade Mississippi Valley State, one of the worst teams in basketball every single year. So I would probably be on Utah there, even though Kentucky, you know, they were favored by less. I don't know why, but yeah, I think you always got to fade that number. Kansas, Duke. I actually kind of like Duke here. Duke's been playing really well, even though Kansas is number 1. I probably would just do money line though. I don't really see anything else that stands out. I'd probably go Rutgers over Notre Dame. I think Rutgers is just a little bit better. You only need to win by 2 points. Furman. I mean, this is the one that stands out. I might add this to the best bets, actually. Furman minus 2.5 over Seattle. Furman's really good, chat. If this is a neutral site, I like it even better. Does it tell us? I imagine it's a neutral site. Let me check. Furman versus, who are they playing against? Seattle. It's got to be a neutral site. Let's find out. Yeah, it's in Vegas. So, you know, Paladin's got to go a ways away. But give me Furman. I like that. I'm going to add that to the best bets board. That's a great value there. Furman's undefeated, too. They're really rocking this year. They play in a good league as well. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for now, y'all. I have to use it in like an hour. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't... text me or something. All right, y'all, I'm going to hop off. Appreciate you being here for the sports stream. Good luck to you. Remember to be responsible. Don't bet too much. You know, keep it under 1% of your income. Or just be like a hobby person, you know. Every once in a while, you just throw $5 here and there. But we're doing good on the channel. It's our final football one before like bowl picks. So we're going to transition into basketball each week now for the most part. And it's been fun. It's been a good ride. Hopefully we finish with a good record once again. Let me put up my best bets. I do need to add a few. We added Notre Dame. Live play. If you can get it 7, try to get it 7. We also need to add Furman. Minus 2.5 in B-ball. Was there any others that were... I can't remember if we had another best bet out there or not. Let's just go with 3 for now to ensure us a really good lock record on the year. I don't think there was. I don't think there was any others that were really, really solid plays. I think I'm going to go with that for now. So there's your best bet, chat. Kansas minus 1.5 over Baylor. Notre Dame minus 7. Furman minus 2.5 in basketball. That's tomorrow, so get on that early. Have a great holiday. Have a great Thanksgiving, y'all. Appreciate you riding through with me on this. I know some of you gamers, this is probably boring, but to the sports fans, I'm glad I can provide for you. But yeah, happy holidays, y'all. I will be back next